You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Welcome to the Bloodsport Semifinal. This is your host, Ken, and we have some fierce competitors. They've been breaking boards, getting ready for this contest in the Australia-New Zealand Sector 1 Championship. So let's introduce our competitors. First up, we have Natalie Anderson. You recently heard her victorious bout. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And if you could just remind people about you a little bit and your fighting style, perhaps.
Okay, so my fighting style is very subtle, flying under the radar, take out a win if I'm lucky. And to remind about me, I live on the Central Coast, a lovely beach area of Australia, and I have 2 teenage girls, and I managed to get them off to school in time to sit here and do this at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I am winning already today.
Well, welcome back to the show, and thank you for making time. Joining us as her competitor, returning Mara Lejins. She's known for coming from behind with the piano wire with a grin on her face. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, I've spent all morning headbutting bricks to prepare for this session, so my last few brain cells are struggling a little bit, but I'm a lawyer from Sydney, and as you added me on the last episode, I also do a bit of quizzing on the Chase on TV, but don't let that fool you. I'm not that good. So we'll see.
All right. Well, as it was in the previous game, this will also be a streak game. To remind you of how these rules work, our competitors will be getting cumulative points based on how many correct questions they can answer in a row. So they get 1 point for question 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. If they miss one, the streak begins again. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Ready.
And before we begin really quick, I just want to remind everybody that these questions are brought to you by Ryan Myers. Couldn't be here today, still on concussion protocol from the chair that he took the other day, but we wish him well and hope he gets better soon. So without further ado, question 1. It just makes sense that which song off her album Lover has been Taylor Swift's most streamed song on Spotify during the last 2 months?
Locked in?
So as I mentioned, 2 teenage girls, Taylor Swift playing constantly in our house, way too much money spent on Taylor Swift tickets for next year. So the only thing that's coming up for me is that she's been dating Matty Healy from the 1975, and he is, I believe, a London boy. So I'm going to go with London Boy.
Okay, London Boy. Mara, what do you have?
I was going to go with Cruel Summer, but I'm not sure if that's Lover.
And the correct answer is Cruel Summer. So good start for Mara.
Okay, my teenage girls are going to disown me now. Although
it's time to disown them. They've let you down. You know?
Well, my eldest will be very happy that I got a Matty Healy plug-in because she is obsessed with both of them. So I will get points from her for that, even if I don't get points from Bloodsport.
So
Well
Mara scores the first blow, but let's go into question 2 and see what happens. While tweezers is the general term for any thumb-driven pinching tool, what name is more officially given to them in medical and scientific contexts, usually bent at the end too?
Okay, I'll lock in with a guess.
Okay. Mara?
I feel like it's just going to – I can just imagine a hospital room show where they're like, I need the spondonicles or something. Oh, gosh. It's not going to come to me. I'll just say spondonicles.
Okay, Natalie?
I went with forceps.
And forceps is the correct answer.
Well done.
Oh.
So you're tied up, and the streak is broken for Mara. That's some good counter-punching. All right, going on to question 3. Which gerund is pretty much only ever heard in 2 contexts, in an arcade and in reference to Don Quixote?
I'd love to know what a gerund is.
I'm glad you said that. I wasn't going to out myself of not knowing that in case you did know.
Oh, actually, no, I know it locked in. I do remember from French.
Yeah, my French is really rusty, i.e. never. Okay, let me see if I can think of something. You know when you just get one idea in your head and your brain just cannot shift off it and go on to anything else? And at the moment, what I've got is a picture of Donald Duck riding a donkey in what I think was like a send-up of Don Quixote. I'm pretty sure none of that is going to be right. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything. I'll go with donkey.
Okay.
I think gerund, this is why I said French, is because you remember the words. So I think it's words which end in ing. So I think tilting.
And the answer for this one is indeed tilting.
Yeah. Oh, nicely done.
Oh.
All right, moving on to question 4. Which outdated name for Kaliningrad in Prussia is perhaps most closely tied to a graph theory problem posed by Swiss mathematician Leonhard Euler?
I'll lock in just to move it along.
Okay, and Natalie, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm calling back to my 4-unit maths days in high school about 30 years ago.
Good for you. 4 units. Whoa. Yeah. Got the brag in.
Got the brag in
to American friends. That's the highest level of maths you can do in Australian high schools. So
I got the brag in to show I do know something about maths. Not this. I do not know this. I don't think this is even going to make sense, but I'm going to go with Cartesia.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I said Katerinburg.
And the answer for this one is Königsberg. Of course.
Duh.
Of course.
I knew it. No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. And the next question. Who is the author of A Court of Thorns and Roses, an epic fairy love saga that was one of the first novels and series to get popular on Book Talk, which I hear Jeff is a fan of?
I'll lock in.
Okay, yeah, I don't know this one. So I won't go Lucky Johnson, that's boring. I'll go with a Lucky King. That's my maiden name, so I'll give my family a shout out.
Okay, Lucky King. Mara, what are you thinking?
I think there's someone who writes heaps of fantasy, and I think I'm going to say their name wrong or do the wrong name. It's like Haz, like a double A in the middle.
Well, you're very, very close, Mara. Unfortunately, can't give you points on that, but it is Sarah J. Maas.
Oh, excruciating.
Let her off.
Yeah. But after 5 questions, it looks like you're still in the lead with 2 points. Natalie has 1 point, and it is a fierce competition still. So we're going to move on to question 6. With 840 known languages and counting, which country is a linguist's dream? Tok Pisin, an English-based Creole, is the country's most widely spoken language.
Locked in.
I was afraid that you were going to lock in very quickly on this one, Mara. And I had a little idea until I saw that was the most widely spoken. I was like, okay, throw out my original idea. It's definitely not right. 840. I should throw out a guess just to keep it interesting. I'm going to go with the Philippines.
Okay, Philippines from Natalie. Mara?
Is it Papua New Guinea?
It is Papua New Guinea. So another
Nicely
point
done.
for Mara. Moving right along to question 7. What 3-word phrase is used in the title of a 1985 screwball comedy as a personal ad phrase directed at a character played by Madonna?
I can lock this one in.
All right, Natalie is in. Mara, not so confident, perhaps.
No. Oh, actually, it's making me think of the it'll probably bother me when it comes. Oh, like looking for or like searching for something. I'll get it. I'm sure I'll get it wrong. I would say looking for Arizona. It's not right.
And Natalie?
I believe it might be Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Mara was onto something there. Her assassination senses were tingling, but it is Desperately Seeking Susan, and Natalie gets points on that one.
It pays to be a little bit older for that question than I believe Mara might be.
No. I'm actually 65. I just was, had some really good work
A lot
done.
of moisturiser.
A lot of good creams. All right, question 8. We were lied to by C.S. Lewis because Turkish delight is pretty nasty. The gelatinous dessert is primarily and most commonly flavored with what liquid that does not occur naturally?
Locked in. It's actually delicious, by the way.
These are the opinions of our host, Ryan Myers.
It's a common treat in our house because the main flavour that we have is rose flavoured, but that rose would be natural. I'm going to pass this one.
Okay.
I was going to say rose water. Rose water.
Yeah, rose water is correct.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, no, is she going to get there?
Judges?
There you go. See, should always throw in a guess.
All right, no streaks going on yet in this game, but a fair amount of points as we move into question 9. What name is shared by a cultivar of potato that's deep purple when sliced opened and a breed of cat with short, dense hair that may have originated from the port town of Arkhangelsk?
Locked in.
I am going to... Oh, gosh, I've got 2 things floating around. One is Manx, but I really wouldn't like to eat something called a Manx, so I'm going to throw that one out. And then I've got a Rex. There's a Devon Rex cat, but that sounds way too English for that port town. I'm sure there's another something Rex cat, which is what I'm wanting to put out there. But it's not coming. So I'm just going to go with Devon Rex.
Okay. Natalie is in. Mara, what do you think?
The only purple potato I know is taro, so that's what I went for, taro.
Okay, no points on this one and no streak in this game at all. But the answer is Russian blue.
Oh, cool.
No. I own 2 Russian blue cats. That's very upsetting.
Manx would have been disgusting, though. You were right.
Yeah.
And the final question in this bout, which has been hotly contested. People who were only familiar with the Addams Family from the films were a bit disgruntled when which man was cast to play Gomez in the Netflix series Wednesday. This actor's appearance is much closer to Charles Addams' long-running comic strip than Raul Julia's debonair performance in the film.
I'll just lock in. Do it along.
Okay, Mara is in after a little bit of thought. Natalie, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I've got no idea. I haven't watched the series, but Hank Azaria popped to mind, so I'll throw Hank Azaria out there.
I can't remember his name. I'm just going to say Carlos Pena or something, but I remember the episode of Community where, like, the backstory is that he went to Greendale Community College and they had a statue of him on the campus. And it made me laugh for 10 minutes, so I'm sorry for that delay.
So your official answer is?
I said Carlos Pena, but I don't think that's his name.
Okay. Well, I think you were thinking of the right person. Yeah. This is Luis Guzman.
Yeah. But he's in the Community episode. It's so funny.
All right. The bout has ended, and unfortunately, Natalie, a gut punch has caused some internal bleeding, and you are TKO'd with 2 points. Mara, you are the victor with 4 points today. Congratulations. You're going to be moving on.
Thanks.
Natalie, unfortunately, you sustained that injury and have to leave us now, but please give us your departing words.
No, that is all good, and I'll go now and face the wrath of the teenagers when I tell them about not only the Taylor Swift question, but also the Russian blue question, where our very own cats did not get represented in my answers today. So, Mara, well done. Good luck.
Thanks. Well done for you too.
I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines.
Ozzy.
And Mara will be seeing you soon on another episode of Bloodsport. But for now, that will be the end of today's show.
Yay!
Before we go, as usual, we'd like to thank Airwave Media, our network. They can be found at airwavemedia.com, of course, and they have other podcasts such as All Creatures, History of Egypt, and Sleep Tight Stories. Sounds good. On that note, I'd like to thank our guests today. Thank Ryan for these great questions. And my co-hosts, I am Ken, and that was Triviality Bloodsport.